everyone. Welcome to Mamarazzi. I'm Denise Albert.
I'm Melissa Gerstein, and we're the moms. I have 3 kids.
And I have 2.
And I can dance, but she cannot bust a move.
She's happily married, and I'm happily divorced. All moms are different.
And we always say there's no mom manual, but we can all learn from each other. And that's why we started the Moms. We wanted to create a community here and have meaningful conversations around parenting.
We've been doing that just across the country with our Mamarazzi events, and we are so excited to bring Mamarazzi to a wider audience with this new show on People Entertainment Weekly Network.
And who is better than our first guest to have the lovely and iconic Alicia Silverstone? It's so great. Alicia plays the new mom in The Diary of a Wimpy Kid, The Long Haul. The movie is out this Friday,
May 19th, and we also have with us here in New York City a live studio audience full of moms just waiting to ask you questions.
Woohoo! And we also, at home, we want to hear from you too, so don't be shy.
And tweet us with the hashtag Mamarazzi. Send in videos with parenting questions for Alicia to burst.com/Mamarazzi. You can also comment on People Entertainment Weekly Network's Facebook page and ask anything you like. And dads, don't be shy. We want your questions too.
Alicia, hello. Thank you so much for being here. This is amazing. This is our first Mamarazzi show. So we're big diary fans in our house. I have a tween, a teen, and so we've read the books. So for your new film, The Long Haul, I can't imagine taking a road trip like that. Have you ever taken a road trip like that?
No.
And no plans to?
Not right now.
Okay.
I mean, I do often dream of driving all up doing the whole Northern California thing with my little guy. I just haven't gotten around to it yet.
Okay, so now you have a little bit of experience from the film. Sort of.
I mean, I've got one 6-year-old, and he doesn't have the thoughts that Greg definitely has.
Right. Now, we all know you as an iconic teenager in Clueless and from the Aerosmith video, so we know you in that kind of a role. But now you're playing a mom role. How is that different for you?
Well, I don't really think of, I mean, you know, women are women, right? And the journey of a woman is, there's so many different kinds, there's so many issues we deal with, but I think what's universal and what I brought to Diary of a Wimpy Kid is this is a woman who is surrounded by chaos. There's 3 children, there's her husband, but at the same time she feels quite lonely inside, which I think many women can identify with. That feeling of not quite being able to connect, not quite getting your needs met. You're so busy doing everything, but you're not being seen. You know, you're not appreciated, all those different things that can happen. And, or just, even if it's a blissful house, you still want to try and get your kid to eat well or get them off of the cartoons or whatever the thing is. So that's what Susan is dealing with in the movie. She's trying so earnestly to be a good mother. She reads this magazine called like Family Frolic is what it is. And she's trying so hard to mimic the ideas in there and try to find a way to have a balanced, happy family. And
have you struggled in that way?
How do you do that?
How do I do that?
How do you do that?
Well, you know, the main thing for me was I wrote this book, The Kind Mama. Well, first there was The Kind Diet, and then I wrote The Kind Mama, and that's my foundation, and I swear that's the answer to, for me, the answer to everything, because when you have a foundation of feeling good, and because for those precious moments, I wanted to savor every minute with my little guy, right? When he was born, I was like, this is the greatest thing in the world, and I knew that everyone says it goes so fast, and which it does. And so, but you know, I felt like if I could slow it down by savoring everything, the simplicity of just the snuggles, the waking up in the morning, my favorite time of the day, giving him taking baths together, just all the little things, if I could make all the simple things that we do every day, slow down, be patient, and just enjoy. And because he eats so clean, so how that happens is because I eat clean, that makes me feel good. So I'm not as tired.
Can you explain a little bit about what that means?
Well, for me, I for sure would recommend checking out The Kind Diet or The Kind Mama to get a better sense of it, because it's obviously, but basically I eat a plant-based diet, and I'm very mindful of trying to avoid things. Now, it doesn't mean I'm perfect. I'm never perfect, and nor is my child.
Thank goodness.
No way. But it's like I'm talking about having a foundation. So my son was, when he was conceived, his mommy ate a plant-based diet. I ate The Kind Diet. And then when he was on my boob, he was getting milk that was totally pure. And then when he was started to eat his first foods. Those foods were healthy foods. So now, yes, he's 6 years old and he wants to snack on the things that he sees around. But the foundation is there so that he knows what to go back to. He knows how he feels different, the difference in the feeling. He can identify, like, Mommy, I need to eat more vegetables today. You know, he can identify.
Oh my gosh,
I need to take you home to my house, right? We don't do
What
that.
language is that?
I know.
Well, you know, I had that exact experience where I was with Woody Harrelson and his wife Laura, and we were in Ireland, and we were all cooking together, and we all eat plant-based diet together. But their little Denny was like 6 or something, and she walked over to the table and grabbed. I had just put down a plate of kale on the table, like a beautiful layout of some sautéed or steamed kale, and she walked over and went and walked off like as if it was M&Ms.
Oh
And I was like,
gosh,
what planet am I on?
foreign.
Because you don't know. But then
No.
I realized, when I say, if that's what they know, then that's what they know, and they can appreciate the glory of it. That doesn't mean they don't still want the chocolate and the things like that, but they can appreciate what that does for them.
Right. Well, Alicia, one of the great things about our new show is that we have questions from our audience. And so we have a burst video from Melissa on how to make sure us as moms take time for ourselves.
Okay.
Hi, this is a question for all of the moms and Alicia in particular. I am a working mom of 3 kids. It is Mother's Day right now at like 7 o'clock and I am already in bed. I am exhausted. I'm just curious how you all find your energy to keep going all the time and look so beautiful and have it all together. It's a really hard thing to do, and I'm curious what some of your tricks are.
There you go, Alicia, because I mean, I did take a nice Mother's Day for myself. Her son
My
was
son was
throwing
throwing up all day.
What is the balance for you, and how do you take time for yourself? What do you do?
Well, I work a lot, and I am a working mother, and so I sometimes, you know, again, my foundation is so important that if I don't sleep well, and the reason I wouldn't sleep well is because I didn't eat well. So if I didn't sleep well, then I'm going to be less patient, less available, and less fun.
So would you say it's discipline? You're very disciplined in how you
For the
treat your
most
body
part.
and
And then
But how many
sometimes I go-
hours?
8.
I mean, I want 8, but God, I mean, this week I've been getting like 6, 5, 4. I mean, it's been
And
bad
do
this week.
you feel the difference?
Of course.
Are you
when we were-
angry? Like how? What
Wait,
happened?
you choose not to say something?
I mean, there's no fun to be sleep deprived, right? That's just not fun. But I know that I have my foundation to go back to. So I know that if I choose to eat a bunch of salt and sugar and like animal food, I would then be really, really sluggish. And then I would need a bunch of caffeine or something to like, you know, you're just like fighting your body the whole time. But what instead I can do is make sure that I eat really clean, healthy food so that my energy is coming from the food and I'm not going on an emotional roller coaster. And I know that the second I can get some sleep, I will rejuvenate and I'll start over again. So it's like you just keep hitting the reset button. But for example, I was able to bring my son to the Diary of a Wimpy Kid premiere, which is something, you know, if I had had to leave him, I would have been more, I was so happy to get to share this with him, for him to, this is the first movie he's ever seen in a movie theater.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Wait, she said in a movie theater?
Yeah.
In a movie theater.
So,
Wow.
Yeah.
Wait,
So
we have to
there's-
go to another
okay,
burst video.
sorry.
So many people that want to answer some big questions. I'm sorry. Okay, so Natasha sent us a burst video asking advice on how to introduce healthy eating habits to her kids. Take a look. We all need this advice here, I'm sure.
Hi, my name is Natasha Deanna. I am from New York City. I am at twindelicious.com. My company is Twindelicious. I blog at Twindelicious. And I want to say thank you guys for having this great show. Thank you, Alicia, for sharing all of your healthy, lifestyle with your son and ways that we can pass it on to our children. And my question is, how or do you find it easy to keep your son on track and aware of how good it is to eat healthy and to have a healthy lifestyle, being that he goes to school and he has friends and etc. I find it somewhat struggling sometimes with my girls because they're at school and they have friends. And we started a garden this year, so I'm hoping that helps us a little bit. But if you can share some tips, I would love to hear. Thank you.
she's got a
Wow.
great question, and on the heels of that, I want to add to that by saying I feel like I'm your worst mom nightmare because my son only eats chicken fingers. I wear leather. I had cancer, and I know maybe I wouldn't have if I was like a clean, healthy eater. So what would you say? And do you judge? You're very outspoken in everything that you say. So do you ever feel judged, and do you judge Wow.
No, she's no, she wrote the kind everything. She's kind.
No, the kind diet. What's so cool about the kind diet is that there's room for everyone. Like I say to people, eat a burger while you're reading it, whatever, however you got to read it, so that you can find. If you want to feel your best and you want to really look your best too, is not so bad. But if you want to feel better than you've ever felt and really connect to who you truly are, same with the kids. Like our kids are so different. When Bear does eat a bunch of sugar, he's like a different person.
So you do allow it?
Well, it happens, yeah.
Right.
I'm much more lax than I ever thought I would be.
Right, so if he's at a birthday party and there's cupcakes, he's going to have a cupcake.
Yes, whereas when he was a little younger, I would have given him, like, I could trick him. I could bring blueberries, and he'd be like, blueberries?
Oh my God,
you know, and he'd be
I would beg my kids to eat blueberries.
That lasted for 3 years. So for 3 years, that kid didn't touch any sugar, and I was able to just, but then it started being like, I didn't want him not to have the experience of having it, and he's still, like at his school, for example, when they have a birthday, they have the regular birthday cake, and then they make it. He goes to a school where they make the
Right. Well, they
cake,
don't
and
allow it anymore because
it's
of
so
nuts.
sweet. Well, they make the cake in the classroom for the children, and the kids like bake their own bread, and they make lentil soup. It's so cute.
But sounds heavenly.
Waldorf
Yes,
is amazing.
yes.
But he gets his own vegan cake, and he for his birthday said to me, "Can everyone have vegan cake this day instead of being 2 separate cakes?" And they did it, and it was cool because he wanted to know, does everyone like it just as much? And most of the kids were like that. So I don't even taste the difference. It's so good. So. I totally don't judge anything anyone else does. I'm only interested in helping provide information in case you want to know a piece of the secret that I found, this thing that has like rocked my world, changed my life, and has been proven by many doctors and many medical studies that this is a healthier way to go. So if you want to ride that wave, please come over and join. But if you don't, all love and peace, because everyone has to find their thing on their own. I didn't know any of this at one time.
So where did you find it? I mean, was it your parent? Who inspired you to go this route? At what point did the light bulb go off that I have to live my life like this?
Well, first for me, it came from, I had no interest in health. I was like anti-health. If you talked to me about health, I thought you were calling me fat. Okay, so because I was quite young, and that's what in Hollywood it was, you know, people would comment on your weight and stuff like that, and I got that.
Wait, that's horrible.
Well, so that health was not cool to me, but I didn't want to hurt animals anymore. I had a dog who I was like in love with, Samson, and he was my best friend, and we would lay together and snuggle together. I'd kiss him, he'd kiss me. Like he's basically my boyfriend. So
your dog.
So I was like, one day it occurred to me, why am I giving this creature so much love and receiving so much love for him, and yet this other creature who wants the same, can appreciate the same gentle gestures and not appreciate the same kind of cruel treatment, why is one different than the other? And I started kind of looking at that, and I saw footage of what was going on, and I'd look in those cows' eyes, and there's an amazing video right now on my Instagram.
We saw it.
You did, of the cow and the cat.
Yes, the baby calf. Yeah, we saw it.
So you're like, how, if that's just like your, and then there's another video that I haven't put up yet, but this little girl brings her baby calf into the house, and the mom's like, where is this cow? What are you doing? And she's got the cow in her room. And it's just so beautiful. And you see that there's really no difference.
Right. Now, you talk about your Instagram. Do you post all of your own social media? Are you doing all of that? And do you get your son involved in technology?
My son has no involvement in technology, and that is something that I will keep away from him as long as possible, just so he can develop and be free. And that's part of what I love about Diary of a Wimpy Kid, is they're talking about this idea that we see the difference between Tom. Everett Scott talked about it a lot, how he could see the difference in his children after having watched stuff and been like, bah, compared to how they are. And so I want to keep him away from it so that he can have he has such an amazing imagination. Yeah. The stories he tells come from his mind rather than like
technology, no iPad, no phone. No...
He has an iPad for the plane, because I think that's kind to all humans. Including this human. So but he stops every time he stops the stewardess and says, can I, or the flight attendant. My mom was a stewardess.
That's okay.
My mom was a stewardess, so that's what they called back in the day on Pan Am. But yes, the flight attendant, he'll say, can I please help pick up all the trash? So he spends his time on the plane helping people pick up the trash, deliver drinks and stuff like that. And he's only been refused one time where he wasn't allowed to. He was very disappointed. But then the rest of the time he's watching cartoons.
But at some point, because, you know, again, I have a teen and a tween, that's how they communicate, via social media. So at some point, how are you going to cave. I mean, I feel like you don't want to have an isolated child.
He's not. He goes to a school. These Waldorf schools all have the same philosophy, and there's a lot of parents, even at there's a public school down the street from my house, and a lot of the parents are already trying to do this. So there are a lot of kids who aren't doing this, and I think that all you have to do is kind of say, like, if you want a play date, Bear was going to have a play date, and I just said, well, my husband said it, but he said, can you please just keep all video games and technology away so that the play date is about playing with each other. Otherwise, what's the point? And they did, and then it was easy. And
I fight with my son over that. I'm like, no iPad on play dates. And your son doesn't ask you?
No, she's technology free in her home.
No, but I'm saying, but he knows that he can have it on a plane.
Ask.
Okay, that's what I want to know.
Yeah.
And what do you say?
Well, the difference is if it's, okay, so again, I'm weak when I'm tired. So if I'm a little too tired.
It's okay, Alicia. You're still a good mom.
No, I want to hear that. You're weak when you're tired and you break down. Here's an iPad.
No, I don't break down. It's that he can sense. They're so smart. They sense you're wavering. And then there's like the nagging starts because they know you're like, what? But if I'm like, no, it's not happening. He's like, okay. Like on Halloween, he said, Mommy, can I watch cartoons? And I said, no. And I was so clear. I was like, no. And then he built this amazing, amazing costume out of like paper he put all over his body. And it was like, if he hadn't been told no, he wouldn't have created this beautiful thing.
With what, all the candy wrappers?
No, there was no candy wrappers. He made it out of my script.
He didn't eat them. It would have been with the candy in it. Okay, we're going to another question. We have Dea from New Jersey learning from your own parents. We have another burst video.
Yeah, take a look.
Hi, my name is Dea Viola. I'm a mom of 5 and grandma of a brand new baby boy. I'm the president of the Baby Flamingo Company. I'm a sponsor and manufacturer for a project called the Pads for Schoolgirls in Africa, along with an organization called Humanity Healing International. I'm also a Christian singer and songwriter. And my question for you today is, what is the one thing that has impacted your life as a mom that you were taught by your parents? Something that you didn't agree with or maybe didn't understand at the time, but now is making a huge impact in your life as a mom.
Aw, grandma and grandpa.
Well, I think luckily my mom, 2 things. My mom rescued dogs all the time when I was little. She would try really hard to help rescue animals. So that was instilled in me, the sense of helping creatures. And also she was very anti-waste. She would always say, remember the war, because she and my father both lived through the war. So they would say, remember the war, and no waste not, want not. And so that ended up being my environmentalism, that they weren't thinking environment, they were thinking money and survival, which is ultimately what it is anyway, environmentalism, right? But that was already in my system, and then I took it further, and but those are the things I think the most.
Mm. And are your parents very involved with raising Bear? And how'd you get the name Bear? Where's this? It's Bear Blue?
Bear Blue.
And where did that come from?
That came from my very conservative mother-in-law. She, at my shower, we had like a jar for people to say what names they thought would be a good idea, because we had no idea. And I didn't know if I was having a boy or a girl. And she put in independently Bear and Blue, funnily enough. And after my baby was born, I didn't really care at that point what he was named, because birth is intense, and so, I'm like, that's the last thing I'm worried about right now.
And no epidural and nothing for you, right?
What's that?
No epidural,
yeah,
nothing.
No, I had a
natural. See,
but so I was like.
Well, we can still be friends.
We can totally be friends.
Yes,
but I was like, whatever. I'm just so happy that at one point, you're just like, get this thing out of me.
We understand. We totally understand. Everyone in the audience understands.
I remember they're like, your baby's coming. I'm like, this is not a baby.
Right.
I don't know what
an alien.
Get it out. But so yeah, then my husband wanted Bear, and I think I wanted Blue, and then ultimately I think we decided on Bear Blue. So.
Just have one quick question about your husband. Do you guys stick to sort of gender, the way that genders typically do things in your parenting, or do you divide and conquer in any way that works?
Oh no, he's like a mom.
Love it. He'd breastfeed if he could.
Yeah, totally. I mean, because he came along because in order for me to, we never had a nanny, so he took care of.
He's the manny.
He was the manny. Now he does other things, but he was the manny, and it was so great. So it was such a blessing to have that he was able to do that, and Bear is so close to his daddy, so I can do really. I mean, I still never like to be away from him for long, but when I am, I always know he's okay, providing I check in and say, did he have this for breakfast? What did he have for lunch? And what's he
controlling from the road?
No, she's just checking
the long haul.
Wait, Alicia, it's so cool that we have a live studio audience, so we have to go to questions from our audience, if that's okay. So who
has a question?
Do not be shy.
Just a second.
My name is Beth Neidick. I'm the founder of Blue Barn Kitchen, which is a healthy lifestyle, clean eating website. Cool. But I live with omnivores. And I found your book in 2009, and it really helped get me on the road to becoming a holistic nutritionist.
Amazing.
So, thank you. My question is, what do you see the difference between being vegan when you started and when you started the journey in 2009 versus what's going on now?
When I first started veganism, I started that way long ago because I've been doing it for almost, I guess, 19 years or something. I think it's just more accepted everywhere I turn. Someone's vegan, and it's really exciting. I was just with the New Kids on the Block at the Today Show,
Right?
Yeah,
and three of them are like, two of them. One guy goes, "I'm vegetarian. Thank you so much for what you do." He said he called himself a I can't remember what he called himself. But not pescatarian. He made up a name because he also eats eggs. So he's like, I'm a pesca-eggan. He said something funny. Anyway, and then he was like, I'm trying to get the other one. So it's everywhere you go, someone comes over to me and says, it's more and more. So at the time, it was just a little bit more. I remember being on Letterman and him, or Leno, and them being like, you're a vegan? Like, it was like I was an alien. And now it's
now you're on the moms.
It's pretty normal. So I think that's the difference. It's everywhere. And I think that people are really understanding that it really, really is helpful, and using enjoying the benefits of it. The proof is in the pudding. So
I always call myself a fake vegetarian because I go back and forth.
It's
I'm coming your way. We have one more question from the audience.
Who's got stand up? Don't be shy.
We used to have the same hairdresser, John Barrett. And
ask your question.
Later.
I am a social media influencer and a blogger and do political commentary. I just wanted to ask you if you ever worry about your child's immune system because you are limiting the things that he's exposed to.
I'm so excited about his immune system because he is absolutely getting the strongest immune system possible by the way he's living his life. He was breastfed for 3.5 years. He eats only foods that encourage your immune system to thrive. He's so well cared for, and that is my principal thought, is how to have him have the strongest immune system possible, and I'm not concerned about it one bit. I'm very confident that what I'm choosing to do is actually what's making him so strong. He never gets sick, that little guy. When he is sick, he's 6 years old, and he's never had to have anything. Like, I just had to take him for some kind of, like your yearly, where the hell? No, we were for an ear thing. And I was getting some little wax out of his ear, and the doctor said he's never had anything. Like, he's never had any medicine. He hasn't had any antibiotics.
Did you have him vaccinated?
They asked me if he hadn't been, if he had ever had any antibiotics, and I was like, never. And the doctor was so surprised. And he said, so many children have to have so much of that by the time they're this age. So, and when he does get sick, he's sick for like, maybe he has snot running down his nose, but he's still running around the house. Like, he's not out. He's never been out from it. And I just credit our lifestyle to that.
Yeah, it's good for you.
If you want to know, I'm very passionate about my choices. If you want to know, you can read my book, The Kind.
Yay. Okay, well, thank you to our studio audience. Now we have a great thing that we like to do at all of our Mamarazzi, where we call it A Minute with the Moms, and it's rapid fire questions.
We're going to have a clock. I think we're going to clock it. Here we go. All right.
Are you ready?
Here we go. Okay, favorite date night? What do you do?
Anything?
I don't remember.
Oh, so it's been too long. Favorite food?
That's too hard. I love food too much. I love everything.
Okay, celebrity crush. Do you have one?
Mark Ruffalo, for sure.
Ooh, any vices?
Easy.
Any vices, any habits, any bad habits? You drink, you smoke.
Learned on the play I did here in New York 1.5 years ago how to drink a good scotch, so or whiskey, so that's fun.
Okay, what would be your favorite acting dream collaboration? Meryl Streep, Hugh Jackman, maybe Mark Ruffalo again?
I mean, there's so many exciting people to work with. It's impossible. Julianne Moore, Mark Ruffalo. I mean,
How would your
Nicole
child?
Kidman in that
Yeah.
running that show right now.
Oh my gosh. Oh, big like yeah.
And I get to
Yes.
work with James Tupper right now, the guy who's played Reese Witherspoon's husband on that, or her ex-husband.
I don't know. Last question. It's getting
Okay, how do your husband and your son describe you?
Go.
I have no idea.
Oh, well, that minute with the moms.
No,
No, she's kind. She's very
Kind. She's easy.
kind.
She's
They're
calm, very
always-
mellow.
He says to me out of nowhere, he'll just say like, "Mommy, I just want." The other day, he made me a little treasure hunt that said like, "I love you so much, I'm gonna eat you." I just can't stand how much I love. Like it's adorable. Like we're in love.
We're
with
moving
each other.
in. It's all
I
good.
know.
Alicia, thank you so much for chatting with us about parenting. And your new movie, Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Long Haul, opens this Friday. This is so exciting.
And a huge thank you to our live audience. And thank you to everyone who sent in first videos, tweeted at us, and commented on Facebook.
So keep an eye out in People Magazine and our social media pages for our next episode of Mamarazzi.
Have a great day, everybody. See you soon.
Woohoo!